season is the home opener.
Nice hit, eh?
Suffers a third-degree concussion.
What a dominant performance by the Winnipeg Jets. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another recap reaction for Game 15 out of 82 for the Winnipeg Jets 2021-2022 season, where they win against the Edmonton Oilers for their first rematch since sweeping them last year in the first round by a score of 5-2. Like I said, a dominant performance from the puck drop to the buzzer in the third. Let's talk about it because there's a lot to talk about from this game. Early on, a great start to this game. Not only because Adam Lowry rips a beautifully placed lucky shot past Mikko Koskinen, it just squeaks by him, just gets over that goal line, and the Winnipeg Jets, about a minute in, have a early 1-0 lead. And after that, they were flying. Connor Hellebuyck and Mikko Koskinen, got to give credit to two great goaltenders, because you guys all know, when there's a good goaltending matchup, I always love to give them credit, because that's exactly what we had tonight. The Winnipeg Jets played a great game of hockey in front of their netminder. The Edmonton Oilers didn't, play as great of a game in front of their netminder, but that didn't stop him from having a great performance. Mikko Koskinen was incredible tonight. 4 goals scored against him, and he still was insane. He was able to make 34 shots on net. Really good game from Mikko Koskinen. The 4 goals really, I would say were kind of, just because of how good they were. The Ehlers goal was fantastic. The PLD was a tip, and the Mark Scheifele goal as well was a tip that you couldn't really have a lot of chance on if you're a goalie. The only bad goal that was let in was the first one of the game. Like I said, really weak goal by Adam Lowry, scored 2 minutes in, not a minute and a half, 2 minutes in, but nonetheless, great start to the game, and the Jets were flying, really flying. And Mikko Koskinen and Hellebuyck stood their ground tonight and played really good games. And also, there's a reason why we're wearing the Blake Wheeler jersey. I don't even think you guys can see the captaincy patch. I'll put the mic there before you can actually see it, because the captain showed up tonight. I really liked Blake Wheeler's game tonight. Was he the best player on the ice? Absolutely not, but he was really improved from where he's been the last few games. Blake Wheeler finished tonight with a +1, with 1 assist. He looked pretty comfortable. He looked slow, obviously, because he is, but he looked comfortable tonight. He looked improved playing up there. I wasn't a fan of breaking up that Connor PLD Svetch line, but nonetheless, I thought everyone looked good tonight in these new lines, which, just kind of preaches that message I said early on in the season about having the ability to fluctuate your roster. I think it's really valuable, especially like I've said, when you have a guy like Svechnikov playing on a league minimum deal that was a top line guy for us. It's been so crucial in this early stretch of the season. I really liked the play of every Jet tonight. I thought that this was our most complete game of the season. I've said that a couple of times, but as I said, it's a long season with more games, and you're only going to get better, and this was the best version of the Jets we've seen in a while. Against that game against Chicago, they looked great, and they scored 5 goals and still played a great game of hockey, but that was against a team that's been struggling. The Oilers are 11-4. Well, are 11-4 now. Nonetheless, they played a great game. The Jets move into first place in the Central with this win tonight. Their record goes 9-3-3, and this was, like I said, their most complete game of the season. Moving on also from that, the D looked really comfortable tonight. I think that Dylan and Pionk had their best game of the season, which isn't surprising because Neil Pionk is blossoming into this McDavid killer. He's been fantastic against all of the McDavid matchups last year in the Canadian division, and so far to start this year off with that first matchup against the Oilers, he picked that game right back up. I really thought Dylan was a great presence tonight, and both of them were really composed. The D entirely tonight was a really solid unit. I thought that they really knew how they were going to shut these guys down. They had this locked in tight, and they played a great brand of defensive hockey tonight, as well as incorporating on that rush. I don't know the exact stat. I'm going to look it up right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points tonight from defensemen. None of them scoring goals, but 5 points from defensemen, and that's pretty damn good from a team that was like the bottom end of defensive points last year. To be this 5 in a game, that's pretty awesome, especially when you have literally Morrissey, Schmidt, Dylan, DeMello, and Stanley all got points. That says a lot when I'm praising how good Dylan and Pionk were defensively. So I had thought that tonight's defensive play was great from all of our 3 pairings, and I really liked what we saw. And it was a really good first period of hockey. The Jets were just dominant all the way through, and they showed up ready to play, and I really loved that first. The second was just as entertaining, if not better. You have the Jets just absolutely roll on, score 3 goals to make a 4-0 lead. The first goal comes early on from Nikolai Ehlers with an absolute rocket shot. Beautiful goal, his 4th of the season. having a great year so far, just looking really, really deadly out there when he gets that shot to land. He's just got to get that puck in behind the net more and get those shots elevated. Ehlers is such a good shooter and sniper. I just want to see him score more goals because he's so damn good at it. Not to mention the fact that you had amazing plays from both ends, and goaltenders making fantastic stops. You had a couple really good robberies early on, Helly on Hyman, Koskinen, I believe, on Kopp as well. You really just had a lot of good hockey. And then you have a Draisaitl double minor high sticking call against Jansen Harkins where he draws blood. He actually gets hit twice, Harkins, I believe, in the same play on the same high stick, which, good hope you're doing okay, Harkins, and you get a couple stitches there if you needed them. Nonetheless, though, the Jets come into that power play to the 4-minute double minor penalty, and they are able to score a great goal from Pierre-Luc Dubois, from Morrissey and Schmidt. Schmidt has 11 assists in 10 games. 11 points in 15 games. Last year, he had 15 points in 54 games. So he's almost already tied his point total in 15 games for where it was last year, and we only played a third-round pick for that guy. I knew he would have a bounce-back year. He has been an absolute gem on and off the ice, and I'm so happy to have him as a part of this team. Also, you have another great tip from Mark Scheifele from Stanley and DeMello on a great play. Really, really good play. Perfectly tip shot by Mark Scheifele. He is second in back-to-back games. He's starting to got that monkey off his back with that OT winner. I love to see him score to get that, get his confidence up and be getting to that higher playing level. That also helps my fantasy out. So thanks for that, Mark. I actually had a great night in fantasy. I had points from Morrissey, Schmidt, Dubois, and Scheifele. And I got the win from Connor Hellebuck. So stack your Jets when you play fantasy. That's your message from Peg City Hockey. Nonetheless, though, moving on from that, a great second period. The Jets were flying on all cylinders. I really liked what we saw from them tonight. Really high tempo, good, well-rounded game. They knew what the message was defensively, and they knew what they had to do offensively, and they played their roles perfectly. And then you jump into that third period. And the Jets kind of get fucked over early on. Really fucked over. Pardon the language, but that's what it felt like. There's no better way to describe it. The refereeing in that third period wasn't good. The 2 goals scored by the Oilers tonight were both off of the power play. One that was disallowed on the ice and then overturned in a video replay, which I did not agree with. In my opinion, that video replay was inconclusive, which means if it's inconclusive, you have to respect the call on ice. You don't just change it because you think it was a good chance that it was goalie interference. That's as simple as it is. NHL, follow your own rules. Stop favoriting the teams that you think need to win games and blah, 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 because it's not a very good thing, and I'm tired of real ice tilt. The second goal, 2 bull crap calls, I'm going to say, called against the Jets to make it a 5-on-3, and you know what happens with the Oilers. They're going to get a 5-on-3 power play. They're going to score on you. They're that deadly. You can't give them that much ice, and that's exactly what they do. Both of the goals coming from Leon Draisaitl, who gets his 16th and 17th tonight of the season. He is absolutely on fire and also helping me out in my fantasy, so a pretty good night for my fantasy team tonight. And then after that, you have the Jets who have to make their decisions here. You've got 2 bad goals being called on you with, I believe, almost within 4 minutes, a minute and a half of each other. It's 4-2 now. What do? They stood their ground. They played the hockey that they needed to play to win this game, and that's exactly what happened. The Jets had a great back-and-forth game with the Oilers. The Oilers fought hard, tried to get stuff going. Hellebuck was fantastic. The D played their roles well, and the forward group did everything they needed to do to generate offense and try to extend that lead, and that's exactly what happened with KFC getting an empty netter to make it 5-2. Kyle Connor has been absolutely incredible. We're talking about how many goals that Draisaitl has in 16 and 17 already on the season in 15 games is crazy, but then you look at Kyle Connor having 12 goals in 15 games. That's also pretty damn impressive. A great game by the Winnipeg Jets. Great game. In my opinion, it should have been a 5-0 shutout. I don't like the goals that were scored by the Oilers, not because they were bad goals, but because they were given to them by really bad power plays and calls that I don't think should have been called. This kind of felt like a lopsided game, but there's been a lot of games early on this season that the Jets have kind of been on the lopside of, the downside of not getting those calls in their favor. They've come out on top in some of those games, and sometimes they haven't. So you love seeing them fight the adversity against those referees, get their confidence back, play a tough, close game, but come out on top. It's exactly what the Jets did tonight. I was really, really impressed with this performance tonight. Like I said early on in the video, I think this was their best performance of the season early on, and I'm really looking forward to see how they're going to perform in the next game against the Oilers, I believe, in Edmonton. Edmonton. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this game down in the comment section below. If you're an Oilers fan, what did you think about this game? Did you agree with me on those calls, or what do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, make sure to go follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Also, make sure to check out the Prairie Puck podcast. Our newest episode is featuring Harry Rice. Discuss all of the Montreal Canadiens offseason moves after they lost in the Stanley Cup final, leading up to where they are right now in the standings early on in the season. It was a great talking with Harry. He's always a great guest to have on. I believe this is the second time we've had him on, so you guys should go listen to it. It's on Spotify. It's also available on right here on my YouTube channel. With all that being said, peace, love, and positivity. Have a great rest of your night. We will have some more videos coming up very, very soon. Check out all of our other recent content. Subscribe, all the other jazz. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your day whenever you're watching this. I don't care. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.